Hey everyone, ready to explore some seriously amazing travel destinations?
I know I am.
We're diving deep into an article today all about 15 of the most beautiful countries you should think about traveling to in 2025.
And it's not just about like pretty pictures or anything. We'll be giving you the inside scoop you need to actually plan your dream trip.
Yeah. So first up is New Zealand.
Oh, New Zealand.
It's known as like the adventure capital of the world. And I know you're really passionate about sustainable travel.
I am.
New Zealand is actually a leader in ecotourism. Have you heard about their great walks?
Absolutely. They're amazing. A fantastic way to see all the natural beauty and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can minimize your impact, on the environment.
That's so cool. I did not know that.
Yeah. And for a fun fact, a lot of those landscapes you see, they were actually filming locations for Lord of the Rings.
Oh, wow.
You can walk in Frodo's footsteps
That's so cool. Okay, I have to go.
and be a responsible traveler too.
I love that. And it's not just about the scenery, right?
So I don't know.
What about indigenous cultures?
Yeah. So New Zealand is a great place to really engage with Maori traditions in a really authentic way. You can learn about their history and art and even try hangi. It's a meal cooked in an underground oven.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is going on my bucket list. That sounds amazing.
Definitely.
Okay, speaking of countries that like blend the ancient and modern so seamlessly, what about Thailand?
Oh, Thailand.
We've got busy cities like Bangkok and then like serene temples and picture-perfect islands. I mean, where do we even start?
Well, Thailand is relatively easy to get to. Most nationalities can get a visa on arrival, so that makes planning a trip a lot easier.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. And as for where to go, it really depends on what you're looking for. Like if you want bustling city life with amazing food and history, Bangkok is a must. But if you're like a Zen traveler looking for peace and quiet,
Okay, yeah.
Chiang Mai in the north is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nestled in the mountains, surrounded by jungles, and it's known for temples and meditation retreats.
I love that. Okay, so from the mountains to the markets, Thailand really does have something for everyone. Now let's talk about a country that's known for fire and ice, dramatic landscapes, and the magical northern lights, Iceland.
Ooh, Iceland is truly one of a kind.
I bet.
It's a place where you can really see the power of nature firsthand, whether you're soaking in a geothermal hot spring surrounded by glaciers or hiking through volcanic landscapes. But be warned, it's become super popular.
So I bet it's not easy to travel there like on a budget.
Well, you're right. It can be pricey, especially accommodations and food.
Yeah.
But there are ways to make it more affordable. Like you could travel during shoulder season,
Okay.
which is slightly outside peak tourist months. So, you still get amazing scenery with fewer crowds and maybe better deals.
That's a good tip. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, while we're in Europe, let's go to a country that's all about fairy tale charm, Switzerland.
Oh, Switzerland.
I'm picturing snowy Alps, cozy chalets, and maybe some chocolate fondue.
Switzerland definitely delivers on that idyllic imagery, but it's also a lot more than mountains and chocolate.
Okay.
The country has this fascinating history of neutrality and innovation. You can explore that in cities like Geneva, home to international organizations, or Zurich, a global financial hub.
Oh, wow. So it's like the perfect blend of history and nature and modern sophistication.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
And for a unique way to see the Swiss landscape, think about taking a scenic train journey. The Swiss rail system is famous for its efficiency and breathtaking views.
Yeah.
You're literally traveling through the Alps. You pass turquoise lakes and charming villages, all from like the comfort of a train.
Okay, I'm sold. Let's talk about South Africa, a country known for its incredible biodiversity and wildlife.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're a big animal lover. Have you dreamt of going on safari?
Oh, absolutely. Kruger National Park is at the top of my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's home to the Big Five: lions, leopards, elephants, rhinos, and buffaloes.
Wow.
Plus tons of other incredible creatures.
Yeah.
But South Africa is so much more than just safari.
Okay, like what?
Well, you've got Cape Town with its iconic Table Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the scenic garden route with lush forests and coastal views. And you have a rich cultural heritage that you can experience in places like Soweto.
So you could spend weeks in South Africa and still only scratch the surface.
Definitely.
Cool.
And one important thing to know is that South Africa has 11 official languages.
Wow.
Which shows how diverse it is. English is widely spoken, but learning a few basic phrases in other languages like Zulu or Xhosa can really enhance your interactions with locals.
Oh, that's a good tip. I like that. It's those little things that can make a trip memorable. Speaking of unique cultural experiences, Japan is another destination that's been on my radar for years.
Japan.
It just seems so fascinating how it blends ancient traditions with cutting-edge technology.
Absolutely.
You can be wandering through a peaceful Zen garden and then surrounded by neon lights and crowds in Tokyo.
Yeah.
It's like stepping into a different world. And I've heard that even in Tokyo, they've preserved a lot of their traditional architecture.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's actually quite common to see a modern skyscraper right next to a centuries-old temple.
Wow.
And don't even get me started on the food. Japan's culinary scene is incredible. You have Michelin-starred restaurants to tiny street food stalls serving delicious ramen.
Okay, now, how can we talk about Italy without mentioning pizza and pasta? I mean, it's classic for a reason, right?
Right. But Italy is so much more than just the food, although that is a major highlight. It's overflowing with art history and culture. You've got ancient Roman ruins, Renaissance masterpieces, and stunning architecture in cities like Rome, Florence, and Venice.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like walking through a living museum.
Yeah.
And each region has its own distinct character, right?
Absolutely. You could be sipping wine in a Tuscan vineyard one day and then exploring the canals of Venice the next.
Oh, that sounds like a dream.
And even within those regions, you find incredible diversity.
So it's not just about hitting the major tourist spots. There's a whole world of hidden gems.
Exactly. That's what makes it so exciting. And one thing that surprised me is that Italy's high-speed train network is really efficient and affordable. You can zip between cities and explore smaller towns without breaking the bank.
Oh, that's great to know because I want to see it all.
You can.
And speaking of countries with a rich and diverse history, Greece is another destination that's full of ancient wonders and breathtaking scenery.
Oh, Greece. Greece is where mythology and history come to life. You can stand on the Acropolis, wander through the ruins of Delphi, or explore the Minoan Palace of Knossos. And let's not forget the Greek islands.
Oh, the Greek islands. The whitewashed houses, the blue domed churches, the turquoise water. It's like the ultimate Mediterranean escape.
And each island has its own personality.
Oh, I bet.
You've got Santorini with its dramatic caldera views, Mykonos with its vibrant nightlife,
Yeah.
and Crete with its rugged mountains and ancient Minoan sites.
It's like you choose your own adventure, with a guaranteed backdrop of stunning beauty. Speaking of breathtaking scenery, Norway is high on my list too.
Norway, a nature lover's paradise.
I bet.
The fjords with their towering cliffs and cascading waterfalls are just breathtaking, and if you're lucky, you might see the northern lights.
Okay, so I'm already picturing myself on a cruise through the fjords, but what about the rest of Norway?
Well, you've got charming cities like Oslo and Bergen, and you have a fascinating Viking heritage. You can explore that in museums and archaeological sites. And don't forget, Norway is a pioneer in sustainable living.
Oh, wow. So it's a destination that aligns with my values.
Absolutely. Norway has implemented innovative policies to reduce their carbon footprint. They're leading the way in electric vehicle adoption. They even have electric ferries.
Wow. That's so cool. It's inspiring to see a country so committed to preserving its beauty for future generations. And speaking of destinations that offer a unique blend of culture and relaxation, the Maldives comes to mind.
Oh, the Maldives.
It's all about overwater bungalows, those crystal clear waters and those vibrant coral reefs. It just screams relaxation and luxury.
You're right. The Maldives is the ultimate tropical paradise. It's perfect for honeymoons or romantic getaways, or even just escaping everyday life. But here's a little secret. Did you know that the Maldives is actually leading the way in sustainable tourism initiatives?
Really? I would not have pictured that.
I know, right? A lot of people don't realize it, but they're taking steps to protect that fragile ecosystem. Many resorts are powered by solar energy. They're working to reduce plastic waste, and they're even involved in coral reef restoration projects.
Wow.
So you can enjoy your vacation knowing you're supporting sustainable practices.
I love that. That's fantastic. It's great to see that even in a place as idyllic as the Maldives, they're taking environmental responsibility seriously. Now, for those seeking a bit more cultural immersion alongside those beaches, what about Indonesia?
Indonesia. It's a treasure trove of diverse experiences. You have Bali, of course, known for its beaches, rice terraces, and spiritual retreats. But there are over 17,000 islands to explore.
17,000. Wow. Okay, so where do you begin if you want to see more than Bali?
Well, if you're adventurous, I recommend the Komodo Islands.
Okay.
You can trek through volcanic landscapes and see Komodo dragons.
Whoa.
It's an unforgettable experience. But if you're more interested in the underwater world,
Ooh, yes.
Raja Ampat is a must-see.
Okay.
It's known as the Amazon of the seas because of its incredible marine biodiversity. You can dive or snorkel amongst the coral reefs, swim with manta rays, and see hundreds of species of fish.
Wow.
It's a paradise for underwater enthusiasts.
Okay, from dragons to underwater wonderlands.
Indonesia really does have it all. Now let's shift continents to a country that's vast and diverse, Australia, offering everything from big cities to the outback.
Australia, a land of contrasts and incredible natural beauty. You've got the Sydney Opera House, the city life of Melbourne, the Great Barrier Reef, and the rugged beauty of the outback.
It's like several countries in one. And of course, we can't forget the wildlife.
Right. Australia has some of the most fascinating creatures on the planet. Kangaroos, koalas, wombats, echidnas, platypuses. It's a wildlife lover's dream. Okay, I have to go. Speaking of wildlife, let's talk about South America, specifically Peru. I know you're fascinated by ancient civilizations, and Peru is home to some of the most incredible archaeological sites in the world.
Absolutely. Machu Picchu is at the top of the list for anyone visiting Peru. This ancient Inca city high in the Andes Mountains is breathtaking. But there's so much more to discover. You can explore the Sacred Valley hike, the Inca Trail, or even venture into the Amazon rainforest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you can combine your love of history and adventure.
Exactly. And one thing many people don't realize is that Peru has a thriving culinary scene.
Oh, really?
Peruvian cuisine is like a fusion of indigenous ingredients and Spanish influences. So you get unique and delicious dishes.
Okay, I need to go. Peru is officially on my bucket list. Since we're talking about countries with a rich history and culture, let's go back to Europe and talk about France.
France. The land of romance, fine dining, and architecture.
It's a classic.
It is. Paris, with the Eiffel Tower and charming cafes, is a must-see for anyone. But France has so much more to offer.
Oh, I bet. Like what?
Well, you've got the vineyards of Bordeaux and Burgundy, perfect for wine lovers.
Oh, yeah.
The lavender fields of Provence are beautiful in the summer. And the French Riviera offers glamour beaches, those stunning coastal views.
It sounds like a feast for the senses.
It is.
Now, what about Canada? I know you love their cities and their commitment to sustainability.
Oh, Canada. It's a fantastic example of a country that embraces both natural beauty and urban sophistication.
I see that.
Yeah, cities like Vancouver and Toronto are so diverse, and they offer world-class dining, entertainment, and cultural experiences. And then you have places like Banff National Park with its stunning turquoise lakes and snow-capped mountains.
So you can get your nature fix and your city fix all in one trip.
Exactly. And Canada is leading the way in sustainable tourism, too.
I've heard that.
Yeah, they're working to protect those vast wilderness areas, promote responsible wildlife viewing, and support indigenous communities.
That's great. It's inspiring to see. Now, what about a destination that's a bit more off the beaten path? What about Norway? I know you're interested in their Viking history and those fjords.
Oh yeah. Norway is a land of epic landscapes and fascinating history. Those fjords carved by glaciers are just breathtaking. You can cruise kayak or hike to get up close and personal with them.
Wow.
And if you're interested in Vikings, you can visit museums and sites and learn about their adventures and legacy.
That sounds amazing. So it's a perfect blend of adventure and history.
Yeah. And I've heard that Norway is also a leader in sustainable practices.
They are.
They're known for their commitment to environmental protection, renewable energy, and sustainable transportation. They even have electric ferries that run on hydropower.
That's incredible. It's great to see these countries leading the way. Now for our final destination, let's talk about a country that's known for its history, culture, and vibrant island life. Greece.
Greece. It's captivated travelers for centuries. It's the birthplace of democracy, the home of philosophers and playwrights, and a land of myths and legends. You can visit the Acropolis in Athens, the ruins of Delphi, or just relax on those beautiful islands.
Oh yeah, those Greek islands are calling my name.
I know, right?
Whitewashed houses, blue-domed churches, crystal clear water.
It's picture perfect.
It is.
And each island has its own unique character. You have Santorini with its dramatic caldera views and sunsets.
Yes.
Mykonos with its nightlife and beaches. And Crete, the largest of the Greek islands. It offers history, culture, and natural beauty.
It really is like you can choose your own adventure in Greece. Whether you're looking for history, relaxation, or a bit of both, there's an island out there for you.
Exactly. And I think what's particularly special about Greece is the warmth and hospitality of the people. They're very proud of their heritage and they're excited to share their culture with visitors.
Ah, I love that. It's those personal connections that make a trip so special. Now, as we wrap up our exploration of these 15 beautiful countries, it's clear that beauty in travel goes way beyond just those perfect landscapes.
You're right. It's about the feeling a place evokes, the experiences you have and the connections you make.
Think about it. Those I have to see it to believe it. Places like the Great Barrier Reef, yeah, they're visually stunning. But it's that deeper sense of awe, that vastness of the outback, or the joy of seeing a koala in the wild that makes it truly unforgettable.
It's the difference between looking at a photo and actually being there, breathing the air and feeling the energy.
Yes. And that energy can be so different depending on where you are. Like we talked about Australia's raw, untamed vibe, but then you have France, which is all about that refined elegance.
Yeah.
Those leisurely walks, those long meals at sidewalk cafes.
It's about tapping into a different sensibility. A traveler drawn to France might be someone who appreciates art history, good food, and a slower pace. Someone who savors the little moments, like that first sip of coffee in the morning.
And that brings up a good point. The type of traveler you are really impacts what you find beautiful. Someone who's all about adventure might not find the same kind of beauty in a relaxing beach vacation and vice versa.
Exactly. It comes down to personal preference and what speaks to you as a person.
So for the traveler seeking a deeper, more spiritual journey, a place like Peru with its blend of ancient history and natural beauty could be incredibly powerful. I mean, hiking the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu, that feeling of accomplishment, that connection to the past.
It's like stepping back in time.
Yeah.
And Peru offers so many opportunities for introspection and self-discovery, whether it's connecting with indigenous cultures or exploring the Amazon.
It's a destination that challenges you physically and intellectually. And then you have a place like Indonesia. It's almost like a microcosm of Southeast Asia, offering such incredible diversity.
Yeah, you have Bali, which everyone knows, with its beaches, rice paddies, and retreats.
Yeah.
But then you have islands like Java, with ancient temples and volcanoes, and Sumatra, with its rainforests and orangutans.
It's a destination that offers something for everyone. Whether you're a surfer, a hiker, a history buff, or just looking to relax on a beach, you'll find it in Indonesia.
It's true, and that's what makes travel so exciting. The world is full of such diverse and beautiful places, each with its own story.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these 15 incredible countries, I'm left with a sense of wonder and possibility. It's not just about checking off a list, it's about finding those places that speak to you, that ignite your curiosity and inspire you to explore more.
And as you plan your travels, think beyond the typical lists and consider what you're looking for. What are your values? What kind of beauty are you drawn to?
Yeah. What are those things that make you feel alive, that give you purpose and connection?
The answers to those questions will guide you to the destinations that are meant for you, those places that will really impact you.
Beautifully said. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Until next time, happy travels, everyone. Indonesia comes to mind. You know those overwater bungalows, crystal clear waters, and those vibrant coral reefs? It just screams like relaxation and luxury.
Yeah, the Maldives. It's the ultimate tropical paradise. Perfect for honeymoons, romantic getaways, or just escaping. But here's a little secret. Did you know that the Maldives is leading the way in sustainable tourism?
Really? I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize it. But they're trying to protect that ecosystem. Like, a lot of resorts are powered by solar energy, they're working on reducing plastic waste, and they're even doing coral reef restoration projects.
That's amazing.
So you can enjoy your vacation knowing you're supporting good practices.
I love that. It's great to see that even a place like the Maldives is taking that seriously. Now, for those who want a bit more culture along with the beaches, how about Indonesia?
Indonesia, the treasure trove. You have Bali, of course, famous for its beaches, rice terraces, and spiritual retreats. But there are over 17,000 islands.
17,000. Wow, that's a lot of islands. Where do you even begin if you want to see more than just Bali?
Well, for the adventurous types, I recommend the Komodo Islands.
Okay.
You can trek through volcanoes and see Komodo dragons.
Wow, that's incredible. What about those more interested in the underwater world?
Raja Ampat is a must. It's called the Amazon of the seas because of all the biodiversity. You can dive or snorkel in the reefs, swim with manta rays, and see tons of fish.
It sounds like a paradise. Okay, so Indonesia really does seem to have it all. Now let's switch gears again to a vast and diverse country, Australia. It has everything from huge cities to the rugged outback.
Australia is a land of contrasts. You have the iconic Sydney Opera House, the city life of Melbourne, the Great Barrier Reef, and the outback.
Wow, it's like a bunch of countries rolled into one. And we can't forget the wildlife.
Right. Australia has some of the most unique animals: kangaroos, koalas, wombats, echidnas, platypuses. It's amazing.
I am definitely adding that to my list. Okay, speaking of wildlife, let's talk about South America, Peru. I know you love ancient civilizations, and Peru has some of the most incredible archaeological sites.
Oh, definitely. Machu Picchu is a must-see for anyone. That ancient Inca city high in the Andes is just breathtaking. But there's more to discover. You can explore the Sacred Valley hike, the Inca Trail, and even go to the Amazon.
So much to do. So you can be adventurous and learn about history.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't know that Peru has amazing food.
Really?
Peruvian cuisine mixes indigenous and Spanish influences, and it's delicious.
Okay, I have to go. Peru is on my bucket list. Now, since we're on the topic of history and culture, let's head back to Europe, to France.
France. The land of romance, food, and architecture.
Such a class.
Terrace with the Eiffel Tower and all the cafes is a must. But France has so much more.
I bet. Like what?
Well, you have the vineyards of Bordeaux and Burgundy, great for wine lovers.
Yes.
The lavender fields of Provence are incredible, and the French Riviera is all about glamour, beaches, and coastal views.
It sounds amazing. Now, what about Canada? I know you're a fan of their cities and their focus on sustainability.
Oh, Canada is a great example of a country that has both.
For sure.
Cities like Vancouver and Toronto are super diverse. They have great food, entertainment, and culture.
Yeah.
And then you have places like Banff National Park with its lakes and mountains.
So you can do it all in one trip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Canada is leading the way in sustainable tourism. They protect their wilderness, promote responsible wildlife viewing, and support indigenous communities.
I love that. It's inspiring to see. Now let's talk about Norway, a destination off the beaten path. I know you like their Viking history and the fjords.
Norway, it has those epic landscapes. The fjords carved by glaciers are breathtaking. You can cruise kayak or hike and see them up close. And for those interested in Vikings, you can visit museums and learn all about them.
Wow, that's so cool. So it's the perfect blend of history and adventure, and I heard they're really big on sustainability.
They are. Norway is known for environmental protection, renewable energy, and sustainable transportation. They have electric ferries that run on hydropower.
Wow, it's incredible. Now for our last destination on this part, let's talk about Greece, a place with history, culture, and those beautiful islands.
Greece has captured the hearts of travelers forever. It's where democracy was born. It's home to philosophers and playwrights and full of myths and legends. You can see the Acropolis in Athens, the ruins at Delphi, or just relax on the islands.
Oh, those Greek islands, they sound amazing.
Right.
Those whitewashed houses, the blue domed churches, the water.
It's picture perfect. And each island has its own personality. You have Santorini with its views and sunsets, Mykonos with its nightlife and beaches, and then Crete, the largest island. It offers a mix of everything.
It's like you can choose your own adventure. Whether you're into history, relaxation, or both, there's an island for you.
Exactly. And what I love about Greece is how warm and welcoming the people are. They're proud of their history and love to share it.
Oh, I love that. It's those little things that make a trip so special. Those personal connections that make a trip special. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. It's all about those moments.
Now that we've talked about all these amazing places, those 15 beautiful countries, it's clear that beauty when you travel is about way more than just like picture-perfect landscapes.
It really is. It's about the feeling you get, the experiences, and the connections.
Like those, I can't believe this is real places,
Yeah.
like the Great Barrier Reef. Okay, it's stunning. But it's that sense of awe, you know, that vastness of Australia's outback, that joy of seeing a koala. That's what you remember.
It's the difference between seeing a photo and actually being there, you know, feeling it all.
Exactly. And the vibe is so different everywhere you go. We talked about Australia and how raw and wild it is, but then there's France with all that elegance and those charming villages and sidewalk cafes.
Yeah, it's a different feeling for sure. Someone who loves France might be someone who loves art and history and good food and a slower pace. Someone who enjoys those little moments like having your coffee and watching everyone.
And that's a good point. The kind of traveler you are really impacts what you consider to be beautiful. Someone who's super adventurous might not love just relaxing on the beach. And the other way around, too.
Right. It all depends on what you like and what speaks to you.
So if you're looking for like a deeper, more spiritual kind of trip, somewhere like Peru would be amazing. I mean, it has all that ancient history and the natural beauty. Imagine hiking the Inca Trail all the way to Machu Picchu.
Oh, wow.
That feeling of accomplishment, that connection to the past.
It's like you're going back in time. And Peru gives you so many chances to think and discover yourself, whether it's connecting with indigenous cultures or exploring the Amazon.
Yeah, it's a place that challenges you in all the best ways. Then you have Indonesia, which is like a little version of Southeast Asia.
Okay.
It has so much variety.
You have Bali, which is super popular, the beaches, the rice paddies, and the retreats. But then you have islands like Java with those temples and volcanoes, and Sumatra with its rainforests and orangutans.
There's something for everyone. Surfers, hikers, history buffs, people who just want to chill on a beach. It's all there.
And that's what's so amazing about travel. The world is full of so many different beautiful places, each with a different story.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these 15 countries, I'm feeling inspired. It's not about checking things off a list. It's about finding those places that really speak to you. The places that make you curious and want to explore more.
I agree. And as you plan your trips, think beyond the usual things. Think about what you're really looking for, what's important to you, what kind of beauty do you love?
What are those things that make you feel alive, that make you feel connected?
Yeah, the answers to those questions will help you find those perfect destinations, the places that will stay with you.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining us today. And until next time, happy travels, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Ready for another fascinating deep dive today?
Always.
All right, well, today we're looking at something pretty interesting, I think.
Okay.
We're diving into the 15 most expensive countries to live in for 2025.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so get this. We're talking places where, like, a simple cup of coffee could set you back $5.
Wow.
And finding a decent apartment, forget about it unless you're ready to spend your whole paycheck.
Oh, my.
But here's the twist. These places aren't just ridiculously expensive.
Okay.
They also offer incredible experiences and a quality of life that's really hard to beat.
Yeah.
So are we talking about the price of paradise here?
That's a great way to put it.
Is it worth it?
It really makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, the idea that a high cost of living can sometimes reflect.
Reflect what?
Well, things like really deeply held values. You know, things like social responsibility,
Right.
environmental consciousness, a real focus on well-being, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not just about the money itself. It's about what that money buys you in terms of lifestyle and experience.
I like that, the price of paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's jump right in and start with the country that's actually topping our list, Switzerland.
Okay.
This place is consistently ranked as one of the most expensive places on Earth.
Wow.
Imagine just trying to rent a one-bedroom apartment in Zurich.
Yeah.
They're looking at over $2,000 a month.
Oh, my goodness.
And don't even get me started on eating out $50 a person for a casual dinner.
Ouch.
But there must be a reason, right? Why are people willing to pay such a premium to live there?
Well, you know, Switzerland is famous for its exceptional quality of life.
Right.
Just think about it for a second. Stunning alpine views, those pristine lakes, world-renowned skiing.
Yeah.
It's the kind of scenery you usually only see on postcards, you know.
Right.
And then you've got the Swiss chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
And those incredible watches, meticulously crafted. Talk about experiencing quality firsthand.
Yeah, it's...
But it goes beyond those things.
Okay.
Switzerland also has top-notch public transportation.
Right. Yeah.
Healthcare system that's, I mean, really the envy of the world.
Yeah.
And a sense of security and stability that's really hard to find these days.
So it's like you're paying for peace of mind, for access to nature's playground, basically.
Yeah.
And for a taste of that legendary Swiss efficiency.
You got it.
Makes you wonder, is the trade-off worth it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
I think so.
Each of these countries presents such a unique set of costs and benefits, it's amazing.
Okay, from the Swiss Alps, we're jetting off to a bustling city-state
Okay.
that I think you could say practically defines modernity and luxury, Singapore. We're talking about a place where a standard apartment can set you back, get this, over $3,500 a month.
Wow.
And their food scene is, it's wild. It's a fascinating mix of high and lows.
Okay.
You can grab a delicious meal at a hawker center for $5. Or you can splurge on a fancy dinner that costs you, well, a wint's worth of groceries.
I see. So you're saying Singapore's expensive lifestyle really comes down to one key factor.
What's that?
Land.
Land.
Yeah, it's an incredibly densely populated island nation.
Right.
Which means space is at a premium, and that scarcity drives up the cost of, well, just about everything.
Yeah.
Especially housing.
But clearly, people see value in living in Singapore.
For sure.
What is it? What's drawing them to this pricey island?
Well, Singapore is known for its safety and its cleanliness.
Okay.
Also, its incredibly efficient transportation system. I mean, their airport is world-class.
Yeah.
And you can't forget their thriving economy.
That's true.
And then there's the unique blend of cultures, Chinese, Indian, Malay, and Western influences all coming together.
Yeah.
It's a truly vibrant and dynamic place, but that vibrancy definitely comes at a cost.
Next up, we're heading to a land of breathtaking fjords,
Well, nice.
Viking history, and yep, you guessed it, a pretty expensive lifestyle, Norway. We're talking about a place where a simple cup of coffee can set you back $5.
Really?
And if you're thinking of grabbing dinner, well, get ready to part with 30 to 50 bucks.
Wow.
I think what's interesting about Norway is that their high cost of living is intertwined with their commitment to social equality.
That's true. They have high salaries, but those salaries are accompanied by high taxes.
Right?
And those taxes fund their robust social safety net. You know, things like universal health care,
Right.
free education, and generous parental leave.
So Norwegians are paying a premium, but they're getting a lot in return.
Exactly.
Security, peace of mind, and a society that, well, it really prioritizes the well-being of all its citizens.
A different approach.
It makes you think about the trade-offs we're willing to make, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Like, what are we willing to prioritize in our own lives?
Yeah, great question.
All right, from the land of Vikings and fjords, we're hopping over to another country known for its stunning landscapes, Iceland. Now, you might think, it's a small island. How expensive can it be? Well, prepare to be surprised.
Uh-oh.
Iceland's remoteness is precisely what makes it so expensive.
Oh, I see.
They rely heavily on imported goods,
Right.
which means the cost of just about everything,
Right.
from groceries to gasoline, is significantly higher than in many other countries.
I can see that.
Think about it, even a basic loaf of bread can cost $4 there.
Wow, that's a pricey loaf.
But I've heard so much about Iceland's natural beauty, volcanoes, geysers, glaciers, the northern lights. It sounds magical.
It really is a truly unique and awe-inspiring place.
Yeah.
Imagine just soaking in the Blue Lagoon. It's a geothermal spa surrounded by lava fields. Or witnessing the northern lights just dancing across the sky.
Yeah.
These are experiences that you really can't put a price tag on.
Right.
But let's be real, living amongst that magic, it does come at a premium.
All right, so we've covered Switzerland, Singapore, Norway, and Iceland.
4 down.
All incredible places, but with some pretty eye-popping costs. And I'm sensing a theme here, wouldn't you say?
What's that?
Stunning natural beauty.
Yeah.
A focus on quality of life.
Right.
And of course, a price tag to match.
Seems like it, yeah.
Ready to see what the next country has in store?
Absolutely. Let's dive in.
Okay, from fire and ice, we're heading to the land of opportunity, the United States.
Okay.
Now, we all know the cost of living in the U.S. can be, well, all over the map.
For sure.
But let's focus on those notoriously expensive cities like New York and San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about places where rent for a tiny one-bedroom apartment can eat up your entire paycheck.
Yikes.
New York City is a prime example of how a city's global status can drive up costs.
I see.
It's a hub for finance, media, fashion, technology, all these industries that draw people from around the world,
Yeah.
all competing for limited space and resources.
Makes sense.
And let's not forget about the added burden of healthcare costs,
Oh, yeah.
which can be a major expense for Americans, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely.
But what makes these cities so irresistible despite the high cost? What keeps people flocking to places like New York?
I think it's that energy,
Okay.
that sense of opportunity,
Yeah.
the feeling that anything is possible,
Yeah.
New York is a city that never sleeps.
Right.
It's a place where dreams are made and broken,
Yeah.
where you can reinvent yourself 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
And for many, I think that's a powerful draw, even with the high cost of entry.
So it's like you're paying for a front row seat to the human drama.
Exactly.
You get a chance to be part of something bigger than yourself.
For sure.
It's about ambition, about striving, about testing your limits.
I like that.
All right, so we have explored 5 countries so far: Switzerland, Singapore, Norway, Iceland, and the United States.
5 down, 10 to go.
5 very different places, but all united by their high cost of living and their, I think their unique appeal.
It's fascinating to see how cost reflects not only economic factors,
Yeah.
but also cultural values and priorities.
Absolutely. And as we continue our journey through the remaining 10 countries on our list,
Yeah,
I'm eager to see what other insights we uncover.
I'm with you. Let's keep exploring. Speaking of unique cultural values, our next stop takes us to Denmark, a country where they actually have a word for a feeling, a way of life.
No, really?
Yeah, it's called hygge.
Ooh, I've heard of Hig. Isn't it all about like coziness and contentment?
Exactly. Fuzzy socks, candlelight, good company, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
It's about creating a warm, inviting atmosphere, embracing the simple pleasures, and appreciating the moment.
I love that.
But here's the thing, that sense of well-being,
Yeah.
it comes at a cost.
Really?
Yeah, Denmark has a notoriously high cost of living, especially when it comes to housing.
So you're saying even those cozy candlelit gatherings can get pricey in Denmark?
Well, think about it. To create that perfect Hig atmosphere, you need the right setting, the right ambiance.
Right.
And in Denmark, those things, beautiful homes, well-designed furniture, high-quality candles, they all come with a price tag.
Interesting. So it's like you're paying a premium for a lifestyle that prioritizes contentment and connection.
You got it.
I guess it makes sense then that Denmark consistently ranks high in those happiness surveys.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, from the land of Hig, we're moving on to a country that's often associated with financial prowess, Luxembourg.
Okay.
Now, this tiny nation might not be as well known as some of the others on our list.
Right.
But don't let its size fool you.
What do you mean?
Luxembourg is a major financial hub.
Ah, I see.
It attracts high earners from all over the world,
Okay.
which of course drives up the cost of living.
Makes sense.
We're talking about a place where a family could easily spend over $5,000 a month on just basic necessities.
Wow, that's a lot.
But what's drawing people to Luxembourg? Is it purely financial or is there more to it?
Well, Luxembourg offers a kind of fascinating blend of, well, fairy tale charm and modern efficiency.
Oh, okay.
Picture this medieval castles perched on hills, surrounded by lush forests. And then, just a stone's throw away, you have gleaming skyscrapers and bustling business districts. It's a really unique mix of old-world charm and contemporary sophistication.
From a tiny nation with a big price tag, we're heading to a land known for its sun-soaked beaches, laid-back lifestyle, and you guessed it, a high cost of living Australia.
Australia. Always wanted to go there.
We all know Australia is famous for its natural beauty, but that beauty doesn't come cheap.
What do you mean?
Australia's major cities, Sydney and Melbourne,
Yeah.
they're notorious for their pricey real estate.
How pricey are we talking?
Think upwards of $2,500 a month for a decent apartment.
Yikes.
And if you're planning on indulging in Australia's renowned cafe culture, well, prepare to spend a pretty penny on those flat whites and avocado toasts.
So living in Australia means embracing a certain level of expense.
I think so, yeah.
But what are people getting in return? What makes this pricey paradise so appealing?
It's the lifestyle, that sense of adventure, that connection to nature. Australians are known for their love of the outdoors, and their country offers, really, an incredible range of experiences.
Like what?
Well, you can explore the Great Barrier Reef,
Oh, wow.
hike through ancient rainforests, or even lose yourself in the vastness of the outback.
It sounds amazing.
It's like you're paying a premium for access to nature's playground,
Yeah.
for a chance to live life on your own terms,
Yeah.
with a healthy dose of sunshine and fresh air thrown in.
I love that.
All right, from the beaches of Australia, we're journeying to a land of ancient traditions and cutting-edge technology. Japan,
Japan.
a country that has captivated the world, I think, with its unique blend of the old and the new.
For sure.
But that blend, it comes at a price.
In what way?
Japan's cost of living, particularly in its major cities like Tokyo, it reflects their dedication to quality and precision.
I see.
Everything from their meticulously crafted cuisine to their sleek, efficient public transportation system.
Right.
It's a testament to their commitment to excellence, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've always been fascinated by Japan's ability to seamlessly blend tradition and innovation.
Me too.
But let's be real, that level of sophistication comes at a cost, right?
Absolutely.
Tokyo, for example, is notorious for its small but impeccably designed apartments.
Okay.
You're looking at around $1,500 for a studio apartment.
That's not bad, actually.
And let's not forget about the exquisite dining experiences.
The food is incredible.
If you're a foodie, Japan is a dream destination.
Oh, for sure.
But be prepared to spend a pretty penny on those Michelin-starred meals.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so living in Japan means embracing a certain level of minimalism, at least when it comes to living space.
Right.
But you're surrounded by incredible design, exquisite food, and a culture that values beauty and harmony.
I can see that.
I can see the appeal, even with the high price tag.
It's about appreciating the finer details.
Yeah.
About immersing yourself in a culture that really values artistry and craftsmanship.
All right. From a land of ancient rituals and futuristic gadgets, we're heading to a country known for its lush green landscapes, its vibrant pub culture, and yes, its increasingly expensive lifestyle.
Ireland.
Ireland has experienced a surge in living costs in recent years.
Really? Why is that?
It's driven in part by its booming tech sector.
Oh, interesting.
Dublin, in particular, has seen a sharp rise in housing prices.
Like how much?
Rents are starting at around $2,000 a month.
Wow.
So it sounds like Ireland's economic success is a double-edged sword.
How so?
Well, it's attracting talent and investment, but it's also pushing up the cost of living for everyone.
Yeah, I can see that.
But what makes Ireland so special, so appealing despite these rising costs?
Ireland just has a charm all its own.
Yeah.
It's a place where history and modernity intersect,
Okay.
where you can explore ancient castles and then enjoy a pint of Guinness in a lively pub.
I like that.
The Irish are known for their warmth, their wit, their love of storytelling. It's a country that really gets under your skin.
So it's like you're paying a premium for that sense of history,
Yeah.
that connection to a rich cultural heritage,
Yeah.
and of course, for a chance to experience the legendary Irish Craig.
You got it.
All right, we've explored 8 countries so far, and I think we're starting to see a pattern here.
What's that?
These expensive countries, they offer something more than just material wealth.
I think you're right. It's about finding a place that aligns with your values, your priorities, your vision of a good life.
Right, and sometimes that means being willing to pay a premium.
I agree.
I'm ready to see what the next country has in store. Let's keep diving. All right, we're on to country number 9. This is a place many people associate with luxury, even excess.
Where are we headed?
The United Arab Emirates, specifically those dazzling cities like Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
Oh, wow. Those places are incredible.
It's like stepping into a world of futuristic extravagance. Right?
Totally. When you think of the UAE, it's hard not to picture those like towering skyscrapers and those man-made islands and those opulent shopping malls.
It's over the top, for sure. But that kind of lifestyle doesn't come cheap. What sort of costs are we talking about here for someone wanting to live in the UAE?
Well, I mean, rents in Dubai and Abu Dhabi are sky high.
Yeah.
I mean, among the highest in the world, in
Right.
fact. And, you know, if you want to actually indulge in that luxury lifestyle, the fine dining, the designer boutiques, the over-the-top entertainment, be prepared to shell out a hefty sum.
So it's not just the cost of living, it's the cost of living extravagantly.
Exactly.
Right. But what draws people to this, like, pricey, glitzy world? What's the appeal beyond the obvious glamour?
I think it's that sense of ambition, that drive to push limits, to create something truly extraordinary.
You okay?
The UAE is a place where the impossible becomes possible, you know?
Yeah.
It's a magnet for those who dream big and aren't afraid to chase those dreams.
It's like they're saying, if you can dream it, we can build it, right? And speaking of ambition, our next stop takes us to a country known for its innovation, its focus on education, and its commitment to sustainability, Finland.
Oh, Finland. Interesting.
Finland might not have the same, like, flash and glamour as Dubai, but it offers a different kind of luxury, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Finland offers a luxury of well-being, of social responsibility,
Yeah.
of connection to nature.
Right. Of course, that comes at a cost too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Housing, transportation, food, it all adds up in Finland.
So you're saying Finns are paying a premium, but they're getting a lot in return. What are those returns? What makes Finland so desirable despite the high cost?
Well, I mean, Finland consistently ranks high in those global happiness surveys,
That's true.
and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
They have an exceptional social safety net, a world-class education system, and a deep respect for the environment. Plus, you know, they have this concept called sisu.
Sisu.
Yeah, it's kind of like inner strength, a determination to persevere that's like deeply ingrained in their culture.
Yeah. Sisu. I like that. It's like they're saying, we might live in a harsh climate, but we're going to make the most of it. We're going to create a society that's strong, resilient, and yes, happy. Okay, from a land of sisu and saunas, we're heading to a country known for its vast landscapes, its friendly people, and its reputation for being, well, quite expensive. Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Canada, especially its major cities like Vancouver and Toronto, has seen a significant increase in living costs in recent years.
Interesting.
Housing, in particular, has become a major challenge for many Canadians.
Right.
But despite these costs, Canada continues to attract people from all over the world.
It's a very popular destination.
So what is it about Canada that makes it so appealing, so worth the high price tag? What are people getting in return for their hard-earned dollars?
Well, Canada offers a high quality of life, a stable political system, and a strong sense of community.
Yeah.
The healthcare system is excellent, and the education system is highly regarded.
Right.
Plus, Canadians have a reputation for being friendly, welcoming, and inclusive.
That's definitely true. And let's not forget about Canada's incredible natural beauty, right? From the Rocky Mountains to the vast forests and pristine lakes, it's a nature lover's paradise.
Oh yeah, for sure. Canada has something for everyone. Vibrant cities, charming small towns, and miles upon miles of unspoiled wilderness. It's a country that embraces diversity, both in its landscapes and its people.
All right, we're nearing the end of our global journey. Our next stop takes us to a country that's become a global powerhouse.
Yeah.
Known for its technology, its pop culture, and its dynamic economy.
Or two.
South Korea. But all that success comes at a price, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
South Korea, especially its capital city, Seoul, has a high cost of living. Housing, education, and even everyday expenses can be significantly higher than in many other countries. But South Korea offers a unique blend of tradition and modernity that's, I think, hard to resist.
Yeah, it's a really interesting mix.
I've always been intrigued by South Korea. It seems like a place that's constantly pushing boundaries, constantly innovating. But what makes it so special, so worth the high cost of entry?
South Korea is a vibrant and exciting place to live. It's at the forefront of technological advancement, and its pop culture has taken the world by storm. But it also has a rich cultural heritage that is deeply valued and preserved.
It's like they're saying, we're a global leader, yes, but we haven't forgotten our roots. We're a country that embraces both the old and the new.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the food.
Oh yeah, the food.
Korean cuisine has become incredibly popular worldwide, and for good reason.
Yeah.
It's delicious, it's diverse, and it's a big part of what makes South Korea so unique.
And finally, we've reached our last destination on this world tour of expensive locales.
Where are we ending up?
In New Zealand, a place known for its breathtaking scenery, its adventurous spirit, and yes, its high cost of living.
New Zealand is beautiful.
It is. New Zealand's remoteness is a big factor in its high prices. Everything from housing to groceries costs more due to import costs and limited supply.
Right.
But for many, the trade-off is worth it. So what are people getting in return for those higher prices? What makes New Zealand so special, so alluring?
Well, New Zealand offers a lifestyle that's hard to find anywhere else. Imagine dramatic mountains, pristine beaches, lush forests, and a culture that embraces outdoor adventure.
Wow.
It's a paradise for hikers, skiers, kayakers, and anyone who loves to connect with nature.
It's like you're paying a premium for a slice of untouched paradise, for a chance to escape the hustle and bustle and reconnect with the natural world.
Exactly. It's about slowing down, breathing in the fresh air, and appreciating the beauty that surrounds you.
Well, we've done it. We've explored all 15 of the most expensive countries to live in for 2025. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It really has. We've seen that a high cost of living doesn't always tell the whole story. Sometimes it reflects a commitment to quality of life, to social responsibility, to creating a society that values well-being and happiness.
It's all about perspective, isn't it? It's about understanding what's important to you and being willing to invest in those things, even if it means paying a premium. Now, for our listeners out there, I have a challenge for you. Think about the countries we've discussed today. Which one sparked your curiosity? Which one made you think, I'd love to experience that, even if it costs a bit more?
Ooh, I love that idea. Pick one country that intrigued you and do a little more research. Dive into the culture, the history, the everyday realities of living in that place.
Who knows? Maybe this deep dive will spark a journey of discovery that leads you to a whole new perspective on the world and your place in it.
Well said. And on that note, it's time to wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the world's most expensive countries. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those deep dive requests coming.
All right, so Europe is amazing, right? But have you ever stopped to think about what it would actually cost to live there?
Yeah, I mean, we all dream of sipping cappuccinos in charming cafes.
Right, exactly. But those cappuccinos could cost you $6 a pop. And don't even get me started on rent.
Oh yeah, those charming European apartments, they can be pretty pricey.
Think tiny London flats going for $3,000 a month.
Ouch. That's a pretty steep price to pay for a little European charm.
Definitely. So today we're diving deep into a new report on Europe's 15 most expensive countries in 2025.
We're going to figure out, is it really worth it? What are people getting for all that extra cash?
Exactly. So let's explore the trade-offs, right? Is it all about stunning scenery and rich history?
Well, it's definitely part of it, but there's a lot more to uncover.
Okay, so we're talking about things like quality of life, access to healthcare, and those innovative approaches to sustainability that Europe is known for.
Right. We're going to get into all of that. We'll see if those benefits really make up for the high cost of living.
Okay, so let's start with the heavy hitters, the top three. Switzerland, Norway, and Iceland.
These are the countries that consistently top those most expensive lists.
But they also top the charts for happiness and well-being.
Exactly. That makes you wonder if there's a connection there, right?
Like, are people happier when they live in countries with strong economies and high social safety nets?
It's definitely a question worth exploring.
So first up, Switzerland. It's all about those majestic Alps, the world-famous chocolate, and of course those incredibly precise watches.
And those stunning cities like Zurich and Geneva.
Oh yeah, Zurich and Geneva.
They always pop up on those most expensive cities lists.
It's wild to think about living somewhere where a cup of coffee can cost you $6.
And apartments start at over $2,500 a month. I mean, that's more than some people make in a month.
It's definitely a different reality.
But let's not forget about their amazing public transportation.
Oh, right. Switzerland is famous for that.
Their train system is like a well-oiled machine.
Always on time, super efficient.
It's a dream come true for anyone who's ever been stuck in traffic.
So that's an interesting trade-off, right? Paying more for housing, but potentially saving on transportation costs?
And gaining back all that time you would spend commuting.
It really makes you think about what expensive actually means, doesn't it?
Totally. Is it just about the price tag? Or is it about the overall value you're getting?
Okay, next we have Norway. It's a country where the scenery is as breathtaking as its cost of living.
We're talking those incredible fjords, those snow-capped mountains, and those charming Scandinavian towns.
But those charming towns can be pretty pricey.
Especially in Oslo, the capital.
Oh yeah, Oslo is known for its sky-high housing costs.
Think over $2,000 a month for even a small apartment.
Wow. So are Norwegians just used to shelling out a ton of money for rent?
Well, it's not just about the rent.
Right.
They also have a pretty high tax system.
Okay, so those high taxes are funding something, right?
Absolutely. Norway has an amazing social safety net.
That includes universal health care, free education, and generous parental leave.
All things that contribute to a really high quality of life.
So even though they're paying more in taxes, they're getting a lot in return.
It really makes you think about the true cost of living, doesn't it?
It's not just about personal expenses.
It's about the collective investment in a society that prioritizes well-being for all.
And let's not forget about Norway's incredible access to nature.
Those fjords aren't just a pretty picture. They're a way of life.
People in Norway are really connected to the outdoors.
It's a different kind of wealth, isn't it? The wealth of experiencing nature firsthand.
All right, last but not least, we have Iceland. This country is basically a giant adventure playground, right?
Volcanoes, glaciers, geysers, the northern lights. It's got it all.
But living in this natural wonderland comes at a price.
Oh yeah, Iceland can be pretty expensive.
Think $6 for a gallon of milk.
And rent in Reykjavik, their capital city, can easily top $1,800 a month.
Ouch. So living in a sustainable utopia comes with a bit of sticker shock.
It definitely does. But Icelanders are also really committed to renewable energy.
Oh, right. They get almost all of their electricity from geothermal and hydropower sources.
It's pretty impressive, actually. They're leading the way in terms of sustainability.
So maybe those high prices are partly due to their commitment to green energy.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But they also enjoy a really high standard of living and a strong sense of community.
So maybe it's all about perspective, right?
Yeah, you're paying a premium for certain things, but you're also getting a lot in return.
All right, so we've covered the top three: Switzerland, Norway, and Iceland.
They're all incredibly expensive, but they also offer unique benefits.
And we're just getting started.
We've got a whole lot more of Europe to explore.
So stay tuned because we're about to dive into some other pricey destinations and uncover what makes them so special.
And why people are willing to pay top dollar to live there.
So we saw how the top three balance those high costs with a unique set of benefits. But they're not the only ones, right? There are other countries in Europe where you can expect to pay a premium for a certain lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. Europe has a ton of diversity in that sense.
And it's not always obvious what's driving those costs up or what people are getting in return.
Right, exactly. Like, is it just about a strong economy, or is there something more to it?
Yeah, are we talking about access to culture, a sense of community, or something else entirely?
It's definitely a complex mix of factors.
Okay, so how do we even begin to unpack all of that? Where do we go next on our European adventure?
Well, instead of just listing off the remaining countries, why don't we group them thematically?
Oh, okay, I like that. That way we can really dive into the nuances, right?
Exactly. So, our first category, we'll call it high-cost hubs.
High-cost hubs. I like the sound of that. Which countries are we talking about?
Okay, so think Denmark, Luxembourg, and Ireland.
Oh, interesting. So 3 very different countries,
Yeah.
but all united by their high cost of living.
And each one has its own story to tell, its own unique blend of factors that are driving up costs.
Okay, let's start with Denmark. It's famous for Hygge, that cozy, contented feeling you get from candlelight, warm blankets, and good company.
And let's not forget those delicious pastries.
Oh, absolutely. But Denmark also has this reputation for being a very happy and socially conscious country.
Yeah, they consistently rank near the top of those global happiness surveys.
So do you think there's a connection there? Do those things actually offset the high cost of living?
It's definitely something to think about. I mean, yes, Copenhagen has average rents around $1,700.
Wow. And I bet those pastries aren't cheap either.
No, definitely not. You could easily drop $40 on a nice restaurant meal.
So it's not exactly a budget-friendly destination, but despite all of that, people in Denmark seem to be incredibly content.
Right. So it's got to be more than just money, right?
Exactly. I mean, Denmark has this incredible social safety net, free education, accessible healthcare, and generous social programs.
All of those things contribute to a sense of security and well-being.
So maybe it's not just about having money in your pocket, it's about feeling supported and knowing that your basic needs are met.
It's about having the freedom to pursue your passions and enjoy life without constantly worrying about finances.
Okay, that makes sense. So Denmark seems to have prioritized social well-being, even with a higher price tag.
Absolutely. They're investing in their people, and it seems to be paying off.
Okay, so what about Luxembourg? This tiny nation is like a hidden gem in the heart of Europe, right?
And it's a financial powerhouse. It attracts a lot of high-earning expats.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. It's a major hub for banking and finance.
So that influx of wealth definitely impacts their cost of living.
I bet. How much are we talking about for rent in Luxembourg City?
Oh, you're looking at upwards of $2,200 a month for a modest apartment.
Wow, so it's not exactly a place for budget travelers.
Definitely not. But it does offer a really high quality of life.
Like what kinds of things?
Well, they have excellent public services, a low crime rate, and a beautiful countryside.
So it's like a little slice of paradise, but with a hefty price tag.
Exactly. It's a trade-off, but for some people, it's worth it.
Okay, and last but not least, in our high-cost hubs category, we have Ireland.
The Emerald Isle.
Famous for its rolling green hills, its lively pub scene, and its friendly people.
And its booming tech industry.
Oh yeah, Dublin has become a major tech hub in recent years.
Tons of companies have set up shop there, which has driven up demand for housing and pushed up prices.
I can imagine. So how much are we talking about for rent in Dublin?
You're looking at over $2,200 a month in some areas, especially in the city center.
Wow, so Dublin is giving those other high-cost hubs a run for their money.
For sure.
Yeah?
But it also has a certain charm that attracts people from all over the world.
Yeah. People don't just move to Dublin for the tech jobs, do they? There's got to be something else.
It's a combination of things. I mean, Dublin has a rich history, a vibrant culture, and a welcoming atmosphere.
And let's not forget about the Guinness.
Of course. You can't talk about Ireland without mentioning Guinness.
So we've got 3 very different examples in our high-cost hubs category. Denmark with its focus on social well-being, Luxembourg with its financial prowess, and Ireland with its booming tech scene.
Each one offers a unique perspective on the relationship between cost of living and quality of life.
And each one shows that there's more to the story than just the price tag.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the trade-offs and figuring out what's important to you.
Okay, so where do we head next on our European adventure?
Let's head north.
Ooh, north. Are we talking Scandinavia?
You got it. We're diving into the world of Scandinavian sophistication.
Scandinavian sophistication. I'm intrigued. Which countries are we talking about specifically?
We'll be exploring Sweden and Finland.
Okay, so two countries that are known for their stunning design, their love of nature, and their high living standards.
And of course, their high cost of living.
All right, so let's start with Sweden. It's home to IKEA, Volvo, and ABBA, just to name a few.
And Stockholm, their capital city, is a true gem.
Oh, yeah, Stockholm is beautiful. I've always wanted to visit.
It's a city that perfectly blends modern design with historic charm.
And it has that cool, laid-back Scandinavian vibe.
But that vibe comes with a price tag. Rents in Stockholm can easily hit $1,800 a month for a one-bedroom apartment.
Wow. So it's comparable to Dublin in terms of rent.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But Stockholm also offers those long summer days and those magical snowy winters.
I mean, who wouldn't want to experience the midnight sun or see the northern lights?
It's definitely a unique draw, and Swedish culture is really focused on work-life balance and spending time in nature.
So it's not just about the money, right? It's about a different way of life.
Yeah, it's about prioritizing well-being and enjoying the simple things in life.
Okay, that makes sense. So what about Finland? How does it compare to Sweden?
Well, Finland is known for its pristine forests, its innovative architecture, and of course its saunas.
Oh, the saunas. I've heard so much about Finnish saunas.
It's a big part of their culture, and they have this amazing education system too.
Right. Finland consistently ranks at the top of those global education rankings.
Exactly. They really value education and personal development.
So how does that all translate into their cost of living?
Well, Helsinki, their capital city, is a bit quieter than Stockholm.
Oh, okay. So maybe a bit less hustle and bustle.
Yeah, definitely. But the cost of living is pretty comparable. Average rents are around $1,700 a month for a small apartment.
Wow. So even though it's a bit more laid back, you're still paying a premium to live there.
It's true. But Finns also enjoy a high quality of life with excellent public services and a very safe environment.
So it's like you're paying for peace of mind and a sense of security.
Exactly. And you're surrounded by nature. You can easily escape the city and immerse yourself in the beauty of the Finnish countryside.
Okay, so it seems like in Scandinavia, you're paying a premium for a certain way of life.
Yeah, a way of life that prioritizes well-being, nature, and community.
It's almost like a different way of measuring wealth, isn't it?
You've hit the nail on the head. It's about recognizing that wealth goes beyond just financial assets.
All right, so we've explored high-cost hubs and Scandinavian sophistication. Where do we go from here? What other themes can help us understand this complex European landscape?
Let's switch gears a bit and head to a group we'll call charming and costly.
Charming and costly. Ooh, that sounds intriguing. Which countries are we talking about?
This group includes the Netherlands, Austria, and Belgium.
Okay, 3 countries that are known for their beauty, their history, and their culture.
Exactly. They all offer a blend of old world charm and modern amenities.
But I'm guessing that charm comes at a cost.
It definitely does. Let's start with the Netherlands, a country famous for its canals, windmills, tulip fields, and of course, Amsterdam.
Ah, Amsterdam. It's a city that seems to be straight out of a postcard.
It's definitely picturesque, but it's also a city where rents for small apartments can start at $1,800 a month.
Wow. So those charming canal-side homes must be even pricier.
You can bet on that.
Yeah.
But the Netherlands also has a lot to offer beyond just pretty scenery.
Like what?
Well, they have a fantastic bike infrastructure.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. Everyone cycles in Amsterdam.
It's true. And it makes the city incredibly livable, even with the high cost of housing.
So that's an interesting trade-off, right? You're paying more for rent, but you're saving money on transportation.
And you're getting exercise. It's a win-win.
Okay, let's move on to Austria. It's a country with breathtaking alpine scenery, a rich musical heritage, and cities steeped in history.
And Vienna, their capital city, is a true gem.
Oh yeah, Vienna is known for its elegance and sophistication.
And for its high cost of living.
I bet. How much are we talking about for rent in Vienna?
A one-bedroom apartment in the city center can easily cost you over $1,500 a month.
So Vienna is up there with Amsterdam in terms of rent, but it also offers a different kind of charm, right?
Absolutely. Vienna is all about classical music, stunning architecture, and a rich cultural scene.
It's a city that seems to transport you back in time.
Exactly. It's like stepping into a history book.
Okay, and last but not least, in our charming and costly category, we have Belgium.
Famous for its chocolate, its beer, and its waffles.
Oh, the waffles. Don't forget the waffles.
Oh, guy. They're legendary. But Belgium also has a lot more to offer than just delicious treats.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, it's incredibly well connected to the rest of Europe.
Oh, right. Brussels is basically the heart of the European Union.
Exactly. So it's a great base for exploring other countries.
And it has a really international vibe.
It does, but that international vibe also comes with a price tag.
How so?
Well, rents in Brussels can be quite high, and dining out isn't exactly cheap.
So it sounds like you're paying a premium for convenience and accessibility.
That's a good way to put it. You're paying for the ability to easily travel to other countries and experience different cultures.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground so far. High-cost hubs, Scandinavian sophistication, and now charming and costly. What's the main takeaway here?
I think the main takeaway is that high cost of living doesn't always equal low quality of life.
It really depends on what you value and how you prioritize your spending, right?
Exactly. Each country offers a different set of trade-offs, and it's up to each individual to decide what's most important to them.
So we've seen how cost of living can be intertwined with things like social well-being, access to nature, and cultural experiences.
It's not just about the price tag. It's about the bigger picture.
All right, so we've got one more category to explore, right? What's next on our list?
Our last category is all about global metros.
Global metros. Okay, I'm ready to dive into the heart of some of Europe's most iconic and influential cities. Okay, so we've gone from high-cost hubs to Scandinavian sophistication and even explored charming and costly countries. It feels like we've covered the whole map.
Almost. But we've got one last category to explore, and it's a big one. We're calling it global metros.
Ah, so these are the big leagues, right? The cities that shape global trends, the ones everyone knows.
Exactly. Think London, Paris, Berlin, those kinds of places. They drive their national economies, they're hubs for culture and finance. And yeah, they tend to come with a pretty hefty price tag.
Okay, so let's jump right in. First up, Germany. It's always struck me as a place that's efficient, practical, great engineering, a love of order, but it's also a powerhouse in Europe, economically speaking. How does that all play into their cost of living?
Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag, actually. Some parts of Germany are surprisingly affordable. But when you look at the major cities, Munich, Frankfurt, Berlin, those are consistently up there on the most expensive lists.
I can see why. They're magnets for jobs, they attract a lot of international talent, and that pushes up demand for everything, housing especially, I bet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rents in those top cities. You're easily looking at over $2,000 a month for a decent place, and that's just the starting point.
Ouch. That's a big chunk of anyone's salary. So are Germans okay with that trade-off? Is it just the price you pay for living in a thriving economy?
It's partly that, for sure. But remember how we talked about Switzerland's awesome public transportation? Germany's got that too. It's super reliable, well-connected, and takes the sting out of commuting costs. Plus, Germany has a vibrant cultural scene, museums, music, nightlife. It's all there.
So it's kind of like you're paying for the whole package, right? The strong job market, the quality of life, the cultural buzz, it all adds up.
It does. And for a lot of people, that's worth the price. Now, speaking of paying for a certain lifestyle, let's hop over to France.
Ah, France. The land of romance, fine dining, and of course, Paris.
Paris is the ultimate global metro, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It's iconic, it's glamorous, it's on everyone's bucket list, but that Parisian dream doesn't come cheap.
Let me guess, rent is astronomical.
You bet. For a decent apartment in the heart of Paris, you're looking at upwards of $2,500 a month. And that's not even factoring in those romantic dinners overlooking the Eiffel Tower.
So it's expensive, no big surprise there. But there's got to be more to it than just the cost, right? What are people really drawn to, even with those prices?
It's that intangible Parisian magic. The history, the architecture, the art, the fashion, it all blends together to create a city that's unlike anywhere else.
It makes you want to say "we" to every experience, even if it empties your wallet a little faster.
Exactly. And from the City of Lights, let's head south to a country that's just as rich in culture and beauty, Italy.
Ah, Italy. Pizza, pasta, sunshine, history. It's got it all. But is it as expensive as France? I'm picturing myself sipping espresso in a charming piazza, but I'm guessing that espresso isn't exactly budget-friendly.
Well, some parts of Italy are more affordable than others. But the cities that attract the most tourists, yeah, they tend to be pricey. Milan, for example, is a fashion capital, and that comes with a certain price tag.
Milan. It's all about high-end fashion design, that fast-paced, stylish lifestyle.
Exactly. And you pay for it. Rent in Milan, easily over $2,000 a month for a small place. But then again, you're living in Milan.
Okay, so Milan is like the Paris of Italy. What about those other classic Italian cities? Rome, Florence, Venice, are they just as expensive?
They're not quite as pricey as Milan, but they're still up there. Think about it. Millions of people want to see the Colosseum, the Trevi Fountain, Michelangelo's David. That demand keeps prices high.
Makes sense. So it's like you're paying for a piece of history, a chance to walk in the footsteps of emperors and artists.
It's an investment in a certain kind of experience, and for a lot of people, that's worth it. Now, for our last stop on this global metros tour, we've got to talk about the UK.
Oh, the UK. We've been teasing London's crazy cost of living since the beginning of this episode, but let's really dive into it. What makes London so outrageously expensive?
London is a global powerhouse. It's a hub for finance, for media, for culture, for just about everything. It draws people from all over the world who want to be part of that energy, that buzz.
I can definitely see the appeal, but we're talking those $3,000 a month apartments you mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah.
For a tiny little space, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, London's housing market is in a league of its own. It's incredibly competitive, and space is at a premium. But London also offers unparalleled opportunities, a diversity of cultures, and a constant stream of new experiences.
It's like you're paying for a front row seat to the world stage.
Exactly. It's a city that's constantly evolving, always on the move, and for some people, that's irresistible.
Wow, so that's it for our whirlwind tour of Europe's most expensive countries. From high-cost hubs to Scandinavian sophistication, charming and costly to global metros, we've seen that cost of living is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right. It's about so much more than just the price tag. It's about understanding the trade-offs, what you value most, and ultimately, what makes a place feel like home.
So to our listeners out there, if money were no object, where in Europe would you choose to live? And what factors would sway your decision? The social safety net, the access to nature, the vibrant culture, or maybe it's the allure of the global city, the chance to be at the heart of it all.
It's a big question, and there's no right or wrong answer. But it's a question worth asking yourself. Because at the end of the day, the true cost of living is measured not just in dollars and euros, but in the quality of life you create for yourself.
And on that note, we'll wrap things up. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Europe's priciest paradises. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of the world around us.